Hello and welcome back to Grand Prix Liverpool 2015. There you can see Lucas Blohon sitting happy. He's basically on a free roll right now because he achieved his goal of semi-finals of a GP, which meant he qualified for not only Pro Tour Vancouver, as you do when you get to the top 8, but also for Pro Tour Brussels.
We see him kind of from the back here, but it looks like a rare smile on his face.
Lucas smiles quite a lot, but of course he has to feel the pressures off his shoulders in a way. So I mean, I'm sure he's going to play very well. He already has the semi-finals from this year in Stockholm with his green-black devotion deck, and he's facing up against Martin Dang, who already has a 10th place at the GP this season as well. Just barely didn't make top 8. And now Martin Dang from Denmark facing up against Lucas Blohon, and Lucas Blohon with on the green-white deck. We'll see what Martin Dang has present. No 2-drop from Lucas though. There's a Horde Chief as well. There's a Jeskai Sage from Martin Dang, who has a Mardu Skull Hunter in his hands. Looks like a blue-black red deck because we heard about Mastered Away.
Yeah, Grixis with the Skull Hunters and Jeskai Sage. Not sure about the the archetype here. I guess both the Jeskai Sage and the Skull Hunter, they can gain you some value. So they're fine even in a value type deck with Mastered Away and Cunning Strikes.
We're all for value, Dennis. Rich Hagen here, just as we swap over Matej Bigzy Zatlkai out and Simon Gertzen in. So Blohon completes his dream, gets himself back on not 1, not 2, but 3 Pro Tours, and that's pretty much most of a season. So great job by him. And now it's whether he can claim a trophy. Meanwhile, a fairly traditional 3-mana, and it's token time for Martin Dang. Simon Gertzen been watching the quarterfinals, bringing us all the action. Simon's now with us. Simon, some pretty entertaining quarterfinals, and we're all geared up for some good stuff here in the semis.
Thank you, Rich. The old switcheroo has been completed. Welcome Dennis. We are in the midst of it already. The semifinals are underway. Lucas Blohon already has the pro points he needed from this event, but will he get the title? That's the big question.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nicer to come home with a trophy and having that first place saying that you won the tournament. Of course, the primary goal achieved. It's going to be happy no matter what happens, but pour some gravy on there.
It reminds me of the Paul Cheon storyline as well. Interesting attack here. Warrior token slams into Orc Sure Shot.
I think that he would be very happy if the Sure Shot would block there to Sandblast it, because the Sure Shot is sure to get some value here with playing any creature to kill off the token.
Yeah, very, very likely we're going to see a creature by Martin Dang. Now, let's see what he comes up with. Well, land, gain 1, that's not too much for now.
Blohon does not have the 4th land, by the way. He does have a Smite the Monstrous in hand.
Yeah, also holding Defiant Strike, so that's another trick that could mess with combat. We are actually going to see his whole hand here, thanks to Despise. So let me count that. That's a lot of spells. Smite the Monstrous, Rush of Battle, Defiant Strike, and a Mardu Horde Chief.
Yeah, the only target for, or the only card able to be chosen by Despise. But a lot of good information for Martin Dang, knowing about especially the Smite the Monstrous and the Rush of Battle. To always count how many creatures he has and how much damage is actually. How many warriors, but most importantly, how much damage he's representing with an all-out attack.
Jeskai Sage has been doing a lot of work this weekend. I feel like here it's attacking for 2. Thanks to the prowess trigger off of Despise. If Martin Dang has a creature, we'll see the warrior fall at the hands of Orc Sure Shot, which, as you know, gives a creature -1/-1 when a creature enters the battlefield on your side of the table.
Yeah. And speaking of Jeskai Sage, I do like that card alongside Sultai Emissary type cards, 2 drops that can jump and gain some value, drawing a card, manifesting a card.
Lucas Blohon with Enoch Bonkin as his draw. so it gives him another creature to deploy if that's what he wants. He's also threatening the Sandblast and the Defiant Strike, so blocking with Orc Short Shot is kind of a difficult proposition.
Yeah. Was that is that the did he have two Defiant Strikes, or was that a Sandblast and a Defiant Strike? Because he has a Smite the Monsters and a Rush of Battle as well, right? So yeah, that was the Sandblast.
Oh, okay.
And, those are similar illustrations on Sandblast and Defiant Strike. The question is now: was that a second Sandblast in his hand, or is that a Defiant Strike? We don't really know.
You're messing with my head, Dennis.
Because it looked like two of the same card, right?
Yes, true.
Yeah.
We'll find out soon enough. We'll keep you updated. And
at least Martin knows.
Martin is firing off a Master of the Race. Not the largest of Master of the Race, but definitely a good idea to get rid of a creature here. He gets in for quite a lot of damage.
Yeah. Killing creatures, drawing cards, winning the race. Things are looking good for Martin Dang.
Lucas also hasn't found the fourth line for Smite the Monsters yet. There it is.
Finally. Let's see if he fires it off immediately, because the Orc Sure Shot is preventing him from playing the Einok Bondkin.
That's what it looks like. Smite the Monsters takes out Orc Sure Shot, and now the battlefield looks a lot more fair all of a sudden.
Ooh, there's that Mineswipe we were talking to us about in
That was a good Mineswipe. Counter your Goreswine, take you from 9 to 4. That was huge. Now, what I love about Mineswipe is how interesting it is to play. But first, we're going to see the resolution on Marduk's Skull Hunter. So Blohon is actually forced to discard a card here.
Looks like a mystery card discarded there.
Might have been a Defiant Strike. All right, another Jeskai Sage for Martin Dang. Lucas Blohon untaps, draws a kill shot. So lots of spells. I think the theme of the weekend, really. I just need a few creatures, but I want to make sure I'm drawing spells all the time.
I'm not sure this is how Lucas's deck is supposed to play out, though. He is the one with the deck with a lot of 2-drops and 3-drops. So drawing all the like supportive spells of Rush of Battle and Defiant Strikes and Sandblast and whatnot is...
Quick update from the other table, sorry to interrupt you, Dennis. The match between Marcio Carvalho and Nicolas Laban. Marcio definitely the more experienced player, but Nicolas is up a game, so they are shuffling for game 2. I'm guessing there was some savage punching involved.
And that would be likely. He has a couple of them, and the creatures to go along with it.
Exactly, the 4 power 3-drops, that's huge. You see some Marduk's Skull Hunter hit the graveyard here. Martin Dang is quite aggressive with these Jeskai Sages. I always prefer to block with them.
Yeah, I mean, he has Lucas down to 9, and we know about the Mineswipe in hand, so it's actually very relevant. If he Mineswipes this, it would be for 5, but he ups. Yeah, he does opt to use the Mineswipe there. Sorry.
So he's winning the game up to a Prowess trigger, right?
Yeah.
Another.
Is that a spell? And it looked like a swarm of bloodflies. So maybe potentially setting up the win for next turn. From his point of view, there is a kill shot, and maybe Lucas has to fire off the Rush of Battle to gain 4 life.
Desperation Rush of Battle.
I mean, Martin knows about the Rush of Battle, and right now, if he would hit through with that, that's 8 damage, and he's at 10. But Lucas can't really do much more because it's stuck on 4 mana.
What is Martin holding is the question, though, because it can't be a spell.
No. It was a swarm of bloodflies, I believe.
Oh, it's the only card?
Yeah, that's his only the one draw step for him, which will be pretty good against Lucas's 2 life, but. Like we've seen, there is a kill shot.
We basically see forced plays here, right? This is something that you don't often see in Magic, where somebody's actually just, you force somebody's hand and knowing what it is also. So what happens if Martin takes the damage here?
This is interesting. He can trade the Swarm of Bloodfires for the Einak Bonkin instead of going down to 2, because 2 is pretty low. If there's something like an Awaken the Bear to give a trample to the Horde Chief the following turn. And Lucas is going to game for no matter what. Looks
so
like,
Martin wants to draw a non-creature spell here and just win on the spot, and he still has good blockers. As you said, against Trample it's bad. Against everything else, his line looks pretty solid. So let's see what he drew. It's just a game land.
Yeah, it could be enough though. I mean, we know about the kill shot, so that Swarm of Bloodfires will not go all the way. And
but Martin doesn't know about the kill shot.
Yeah, of course. And
well, not of course. I mean, because of the Despise, the kill shot was drawn later.
Yeah, it's not one of the known cards. Absolutely.
Oh, is that a Dragon Scale Boon? A card I've called one of the best green commons in Khans of Tarkir, because just how the formats play out, it's always the combat trick that wrecks you. Now in this case, the kill shot is definitely the more important card.
I mean, a combat trick that leaves behind some extra power on the board is absolutely huge in many matches.
So if you, one thing that's interesting here is how to block if you're Martin Dang, especially if only one creature attacks.
Yeah, I think that the intuitive play is to just jump with 1. Which is what it does, and that's what I would do as well.
Okay,
but it's gonna be telling here that he's not gonna outlast the Einak Bonkin or anything.
Yeah, so one thing that was definitely missed here was the trigger on Swarm of Bloodflies.
Yeah,
because that's why I was considering blocking with both creatures.
That's true, actually. That would. That would have been lethal with, I mean, he didn't know that he would draw a Treasure Cruise into a Rakshasa Secret, but that's a huge Rakshasa Secret.
That's insane against kill shot. Wow. And Lucas Blohon is now forced into playing the Dragon Scale Boon as well, if he doesn't just want to lose it. He can't believe it. Treasure Cruise into Rakshasa Secret.
That's a big Jeskai Sage. He needs to play the Dragon Scale Boon probably on the Horde Chief to be safe, because he could have another card easily drawn here from the Treasure Cruise.
No, but I mean, a 4/3 first strike is probably a pretty good blocker for the Jeskai Sage, I would guess.
It's already a 3/3. and I mean, untapping the Horde Chief could become relevant if he has a bounce spell, having 2 creatures to be able to block.
Ooh, Crater's Claws enters the graveyard here.
And he does have the bounce spell, but it's a whisk away, so it has to be blocking or attacking first, and that's a great Treasure Cruise from Martin Dang.
So Martin, who missed the trigger on Swarm of Bloodflies, wow, he's attacking with the Jeskai Sage just to whisk away it. He knows he has his opponent dead.
Yep. And Lucas also knows that he's dead, so he's scooping up his cards.
So to elaborate, because when you put something on your opponent's library, you're
gonna draw it again. Obviously,
you know, and you've just emptied his hand. So that was the perfect sequence of cards.
Yeah, quite the cruise for Martin Dang. Even though
cruising to victory.
Even though he liked to point out the fact that he missed a trigger, but it is relevant. Like the card Swarm of Bloodflies is not great in and of itself. A 2/2 flyer for 5. It has an important trigger. It grows bigger each time you jump.
Wow, these guys are really quick. Marcy Carvalho and Nicolas Laban are now 1 game apiece. So it's up to the decider already, and we've only just finished game 1 between Martin Dang and Lucas Blohon. Quite a game, I have to say. It wasn't clear who was winning up until the very last turn.
Yeah, I mean, Lucas's deck did not perform the way he wanted to perform. He didn't have a 2-drop. He had way too many spells, not enough creatures. But Martin Dang looked decently fine. I mean, there was some not a huge card quality from him, but it still worked out in the end by drawing more cards.
You know what? I think I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I think he played the underrated cards to very good effect. The Jeskai Sages, the Rakshasa Secrets of this world, of the world of Tarkir.
Yeah.
What do Do you agree, or do you think it was just the perfect combination of?
I do agree, but even the like Swarm of Bloodflies, that's not a great card, even though again he didn't fully realize its potential.
It might be better if you actually remember the trigger.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it does have its merits, especially if you draft the Jeskai Sages highly.
And have to mention Mindswipe as well. Not a high pick, but he Mindswiped the long shot squad.
To be fair, Mindswipe was the first game winner, and Rakshasa Sequel was the second game winner.
Yeah.
So without these, even though you said Blohon start wasn't perfect, his cards would still have outmatched those of Dang.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I do think Blohon's deck is a pretty solid deck, but not too good if he does not draw enough creatures, which is usually rare because we know he has a lot of them.
Especially for green-white, right?
Yeah, if there's any creature-heavy archetype, that's the one.
And you commented on Blohon's draft as well, I believe.
Yeah.
So that was the Dromoka.
Dromoka alongside a lot of 2-drops and a bunch of Horde Chiefs and some supportive spells as well.
From what I could tell, that was definitely a solid draft. Not much to.
Solid but not great.
Yeah.
Like the only card that is over the top great is that first pick, but not too many fillers either.
All right, off to the races here. Lucas Blohon with the Sandsep Citadel, mana is fixed. Enoch Bonkin straight out of the gates. What does Martin Dang have to protect himself? Well, some lands first, so he's up to 22.
Looking at the deck list of Martin Dang, he has a lot of discard in his deck with Mardu Skull Hunter, the Rakshasa's Secret, and the Despise. We saw all of them last game, and since Lucas had so many spells, it worked out quite well for him.
Lucas Blohon cycling a Defiant Strike here, just to get in for an extra point, taking Martin down to 19. And now an interesting spot here. He drew Master of Pearls, but is holding it back. Wants to get more value out of it than just playing a measly 2.
2 for 2, yeah, that's really not what you're looking for in that. Possibly his second best card in the deck.
And
Pearls.
I believe that there's once again a Dragon Scale Boon in Blohon's hand, so could set up quite an interesting combat here.
Does telegraph something, but not necessarily, I guess. You're fine trading your 2-drop for a morph anyways, so...
even if it's Enoch Bonkin?
Even if it is a premium 2-drop like Enoch Bonkin. So he doesn't have to put Lucas Blohon on a guaranteed combat trick, but likely.
We see here how Lucas really wants to play the aggressive role to maximize his combat trick, and that's why he's the one entering the race. And I guess we'll see if he actually gets to Dragon Scale Boon to full effect.
He has a pretty stacked hand from the looks of it. Suspension Field, Sandblast, and a 5/4 for 5 Feral Crew Shock.
If you block with a morph there, is that signaling Monastery Flaw?
I think it is signaling Monastery. That's a good call, Simon.
Interesting. So would you not have cast the Dragon Scale Boon maybe?
No, I think you do cast it. Even if it is a Monastery Flock. I think the Enoch Bonkin in a late game situation, it already has 2 counters on it. If you outlast it once, you can start punching through the Monastery Flock. So and keeping it for the future is relevant enough that you save it, that you take the trade for the Dragon Scale Boon rather than the Enoch Bonkin.
So let's see how good Swarm of Bloodflies is going to be this game. There's definitely a lot of creatures on the board. So the fact that there was no trades whatsoever, even though Lucas was looking to enable them, it's kind of funny how the Defiant Strike in his graveyard would have been really good last combat.
Yeah, that cycled Defiant Strike, but he could have known. I think that just deploying a Feral Crew Shock here is not too bad. He's going for the aggressive route with the likely Sandblast happening here. And now he's probably hoping for Dang to remember his triggers. But no, there's not going to be any triggers because of that Suspension Field. He could just Suspension Field the Swarm of Bloodflies if it grows.
Yeah, and Martin Dang with the conservative block once again. Checks his morph, holding also quite a lot of spells. Crater's Claws, no Ferocious right now, but a Glacial Stalker could enable that. And then there's Sultai Emissary and Orc Sure Shot. That's some very good cards.
Yep. Does not have too much action beyond the Sure Shot this round. It's not really worth. You can Crater's Claw something here actually if you want to kill a 4 toughness creature. The Sure Shot also enabling the Ferocious.
No, he drops
no, he only had the 2 mana. Sorry, he could do 3 damage.
He drops the Sultai Emissary, so that even though the trigger from Orc Sure Shot goes to waste there, if he gets a manifest, he gets another trigger. And creatures dying is just going to grow the Bloodfly, so that's definitely valuable.
Let's see what Blohon does here. Do we know any of the morphs?
In Lucas Blohon's deck, let me check. So
I mean, on play we saw their hands a bit. Do we know which?
I don't know what he morphed. No, well, that was Master of Pearls, which he didn't play. So that's the morph.
That is a relevant morph.
He also has Absent Guide in his deck, but I'm pretty certain that it's a morphed Master of Pearls. Which is why it was interesting that it was basically attacking very relentlessly. Also, I believe that players should have access to deck lists now in the semifinals. I'm not 100% sure, but
that's usually the case. So that it's a fair game between if they had friends scouting for them or whatnot. So they just play with open deck lists as a praxis. But
also because it's televised.
Yeah, you could have friends at home telling them. What's in their opponent's deck.
So things are getting a bit complicated for Lucas here. He's facing down a deck with just a much more board presence, but Lucas shows no fear here. Attack with everything.
Attacks with everything, but he knew that he could protect the Master of the Pearls from any blocks with the Sandblast. But now there are a lot of more creatures on Dang's side of the board. However, he's unlikely to block with the Orc Sure Shot. So there's going to be some chumping and offering up the trade with the morphs. Of course, Dang is tapped out, so he's Lucas with the information here that he's the one.
And that's the trigger for Lucas to actually reveal his Master of Pearls. Ferrocrucial grows, not quite relevant. Master of Pearls grows to a 4/4, that's relevant. And Enoch Bondkin grows up to 6 power.
Yeah, and the extra trigger from the Sure Shot will not be killing anything. Even the Master of Pearls will survive here. Does remember the trigger now.
Yeah, pretty good turn for Lucas Blohon, and what we know and Martin doesn't know yet is that he even has an answer to the humongous Bloodflies.
Yeah. It's about to be huge if he remembers the other triggers.
He just remembered it for the... Yeah.
He's going to take a big hit here.
Lucas, that is, yes.
Yeah, which is scary. And it is in fact lethal because of that Crater's Claw. But I think that Lucas's play made sense here.
All right. That's it. Martin Dang 2, Lucas Blohon 0. Lucas Blohon got exactly where he needed to be to reach silver and get the Pro Tour invite locked up. Not any further though, but that wasn't just psychological, was it?
I mean, I've definitely felt that type of like effect. Getting past the effect of getting past the most important hurdle,
the barrier,
getting to that second top 8, locking up platinum, then losing immediately in the quarterfinals. Lucas is going to be what here, so he's going to go home and sleep well. Both tonight and maybe the week out.
So now I'm wondering how Nicolas Laban of Germany is matching up against Marcio Carvalho with countless GP top 8s. His conversion rate is incredible, by the way.
Yeah, he has some good
and
finishes.
We see Dragon Scale Boon. That might be a contender for top 5 cards here. I'm just saying.
We see a very cluttered board. A lot of stuff happening.
And we have a response. Oh, we have a flurry of responses. Dragon Scale Boon, in response, Teamer Charm, Fight. in response, return my creature, and make Temur Sabertooth indestructible. And look what's on the battlefield as well. Swarm of
Bloodflies. And nothing actually died. He was trying to remember triggers that didn't even happen.
Ooh, that looks like a good Arcline, but then again, Temur Sabertooth is really good at saving your creatures. The question is, oh, Nicholas at 28, Marcio at 5. That's quite relevant.
He's saving all the creatures, but he has to replay them, and he does have a lot of mana. This is going into the very late game here.
Yeah, but kudos to Marcio. He's somehow found a way to actually pressure the Sabertooth sufficiently. Oh, there's also a Manifest.
A Manifest that is relevant right now. I wonder what that is.
It seems to be relevant. We at least Nicholas is checking it out, so let's see what happens. His hand is the Alpine Grizzly that was bounced, and card I can't quite make out. That's what I have you for here. Yeah, but let's see what happens.
Is that the winds in Nicholas Laban's hand? The winds of Kalisisma?
I couldn't make it out.
That could be the card. It's the fog, but with a pretty big upside.
Oh, is he playing that card?
I think that is
the
fine playable.
Ferocious Fog?
Yeah, I think that it's a fine playable actually. It's kind of a high risk, high reward card. It can become huge with the blowouts you can do. Of course, when you ferocious it, you just prevent the damage your opponents do.
the best kind of card.
Yeah. Kind of like a channel harm effect for 2.
So let's see what happens here. I think Nicholas is just going to take some damage. There's Winds of Kalisisma, so it's a fog, but if you have Ferocious, it only affects your opponent's creatures. So you actually get to set up some really nice situations there. It's kind of unclear why Nicholas was opted to not save his creature.
I'm not sure either. Maybe he expected Marcio to have something else, and he wanted to keep up that last activation of Sabertooth.
That would be a quite conservative play.
Yeah, but at that point you probably target the Sabertooth with the Arc Lightning, and then trying to give it indestructible, you then respond with the other removal spell. So. Not sure what Nicholas Laban is playing.
I mean, you could go for the full value, right? If it works, if your line works, and you kill everything.
Then you get like a Highline game for free.
Oh, and the. Yeah,
you
sure,
still,
because it's still safe. It's a free Highland game.
Yeah, I mean, let's.
I think Nicholas should have saved the Bloodflies. Yeah, a swarm of Bloodflies.
To be fair, it didn't really do anything in a board with the Saigo Archers and a huge long shot squad. But
Ghostfire Blade comes down, equips. Not relevant because Temur Sabertooth is just a monster.
I mean, it's not really hitting past a Saigo Archers anyways, so Nicholas Laban needs to find something here, or he's going to get chunked down sooner rather than later.
Do you have the deck list available? Can we?
I do believe that we do have some.
Maybe find out if the Winds are our main deck card, or if that's Nicholas' way of sideboarding in this matchup.
It's indeed a sideboard card. The Winds of Kalisisma. Good against the creature-heavy green decks, which is what he has identified Marcio Carvalho's deck as.
Savage Punch tries to take out Saigo Archer here. Marcio is also not holding much. Both players are kind of bluffing lands, but Nicholas still has that that fog effect that might actually be super relevant if Marcio somehow finds a winning line and attacks for lethal, and then suddenly a fog could win Nicholas Laban the game and the match, and he would have advanced to the finals on the power of Winds of Kalisisma.
Wouldn't be the first time. I've seen that card win plenty of matches that no other card could have won. I mean, I guess except Channel Harm.
we might actually see a Winds of Kalisisma on offense here. But Marcio Carvalho with a pretty smart block again, I think.
At this point, I mean, he's gonna lose the. What is that? Is that a Mastodon? Yeah.
Frontier Mastodon, yes.
So that's a fine card to return to your hand there with the Manifest and the Sabertooth. Not using the Winds of Kalsisma just to kill a.
Oh, but
kill a Forest Wine for free.
Maybe Nicholas could have saved his Alpine Grizzly just because, so that he keeps more creatures around. I mean, his fog does lose some value now. Oh my god! Wild Call 4, 3, 6, 10 mana. That's an 8 counters, 10/10 manifest.
A 10/10 for 10.
It's good to have a Temur Sabertooth, but that looks like a lot of pressure.
Let's see if there's like a Hooting Manor or something there. Or something with flying, maybe.
Okay, Nicholas has his work cut out for him, but Temur Sabertooth is the card that you want in this kind of spot. Yeah. He's down to a single other creature, so that's what Marcio did really, really smartly. He traded off and he didn't run into any tricks. So,
there's a Snowhorn Rider, which would have been good if that was the card previous to the one he drew right now.
Yep, morphs it. It's still good on this board because 5 power is huge.
Yeah, not only 5 but 7 now with the Ghostfire Blade.
Yeah, Ghostfire Blade was already tremendous in Marcio Carlo's quarterfinals. So see if it wins him the game. Nicholas needs to draw something here. So let's see what happens when the turn is passed to him.
He even outlasts the Longshot Squad one more time.
Another Savage Punch. Now, Marcio's creatures are growing out of reach here.
Yeah, what can you even Savage Punch? I mean, you can try to Savage Punch the Morph, which will not end up the way Nicholas wants it to. 6 damage to a 7/7.
Which you don't know,
enough.
right?
Yeah, I mean, of course Nicholas does not know, but...
So there seems to be a small delay here. I'm not sure what's happening. Maybe in question about the Oracle text of a card. It would be insane if Marcio is just asking for the Oracle text of
Winds of
Winds. Yeah, but the sideboard card on his deck list.
I mean, if there are open deck lists, so it can't come as a huge surprise. If Marcio has been diligent, and that's exactly what's happening.
Awesome! I love it. Even if he knows exactly what it does, it's also a great mind game.
Yeah.
So getting the read on his opponent, maybe there, already having it, maybe. Incredible. That's magic at its finest.
Must have made at least a mental note that there was a Winds of Kalsisma in the sideboard of Laban.
I was once asked by Owen Turtenwald what exactly Moon Mist did, when I was holding it, of course, and I was attacking with my werewolves. It was not a good experience. Okay, we see combat comments here. Nicholas returns his other creature to protect his Temur Sabertooth, but there is now a 7/7 Trampler. Another land for Nicholas. His Savage Punches are rendered worthless here, and his single creature is not doing its job.
Yeah, Savage Punching a Bear's Companion is basically a waste of card.
Yeah. I think Nicholas, by allowing another one of his creatures to die, he weakened his Sabertooth. So, and we see that Marcio is now pressing his advantage. I don't know what kind of outs are in Nicholas Laban's deck.
Yeah, we've mostly seen Sandblasts and stuff like that, and even a Feat of Resistance can't really get through the 10/10 colorless creature on Carvalho's
And Marcio
side.
Carvalho is a very tight player, so he can easily play around something like Feat of Resistance. I was thinking Dune Blast, Elite Scale Guard, maybe something to...
Elite Scale Guard is a deck is a card in Laban's deck, which would be absolutely huge with the Temur Sabertooth. growing his own creatures, getting counters on every
my
single
God.
creature and so on. But
That would probably win the game.
yeah, I'm not sure how many turns he has though. There's a 7/7 Trampler on board. He can stem the bleeding a bit by only taking 4 each turn.
It's a blessing that Marster's only on 5, so he can't attack with everything. At least not yet. Another morph though.
Yeah, and Elite Scale Guard might still be good enough here because it still does have that wins of Kal Sisma for a huge time walk.
Yeah, another Frontier Mastodon, so that might make a difference here. What we could see is the wins buying Nicholas, maybe not the win, but a crucial turn.
But it's gonna need pretty much only the Elite Scale Guard here. I don't know if the Valorous stance is a removal that is good.
Sufficiently good. That's a good question. Usually you would be happy to kill a 10/10.
At this point, he would probably rather kill the Longshot squad and maybe try to get in there with flyers or the Trampler to survive.
Yeah, the issue I'm seeing on this board is if Nicholas always returns both of his Mastodons, then he is never going to have a present lethal. But you could just trade your wins for the attacker. That's definitely an option.
Yeah. I mean, it's the only creature that is putting pressure on Nicholas here.
Interesting. I think that Carvalho ordered. Yeah, okay. It doesn't matter to Laban. Laban still returns one, of course, to protect his Sabertooth, and so that he doesn't lose both Mastodons, and then it's a trade. So Laban has a very clear game plan. He wants to trade 1 for 1 whenever you can, and he's the one with an indestructible creature in play.
In a matchup like this, the Sabertooth usually does dominate, but with the size of creatures on Carvalho's side, he's not really attacking. Something like a Hooded Assassin would be great here. That's also a very good combo with the Temur Sabertooth. You can always attack in with an indestructible creature and finish off whatever blocker there is.
So many combos with Temur Sabertooth.
Yeah, that's a card with a lot of play to it. We've mentioned the Elite Scale Guard.
How do you actually get Temur Sabertooth and Elite Scale Guard?
I'm wondering
is that possible in Fate Reforged draft?
Someone opened a big rare. That's the only way.
Dragon Scale Boon from Marcel Carvalho. We'll see if that makes a big difference here. Nicholas Laban got rid of the Trampler, so now it's the question of Marcel Carvalho with his 3 creatures and an instant against Nicholas Laban with his 3 creatures and a wins of, what is it again?
Kal
Sisma. And I think Marcio knows what's up. He asked the judge about the oracle wording of that card.
Yeah. Psyching Nicholas Laban out.
I love it. And I think that Nicholas, even though he might not be as experienced, he does have pretty good board presence in the sense that he knows what he's doing. But in the semifinals, if somebody asks you, like, basically puts you on the spot like that, it's kind of hard to keep your composure.
Yeah. I've felt that feeling as well, the one that you mentioned. They're actually counting their libraries here. Has anyone drawn more cards than the other?
Is this really coming down to decking, Dennis?
Would be a fun way to finish off the semifinals. We've seen very quick matches in basically all the quarterfinals and the other semifinal.
Wow, Carvalho now with a. Is that also a 10/10? Do we have a 10/10 Longshot squad and a 10/10 Manifest?
Certainly looks like it.
Nicholas just with a
savage
land.
punch from Laban, still not doing anything, or at least anything relevant.
Barrage of boulders.
There's finally the card that will snag that wins of Kal Sisma out of Laban's hand.
But Marcio has to know about it. Marcio asked specifically about the wording.
Yeah,
but Nicholas is on 15. What do you do here?
Well, you can attack with 2 10/10s and still keep back 2 blockers. Can you not? He needs to morph this up to present lethal. Looks like he's.
Oh, he also has the dragon scale boon, so that's actually another blocker.
Even so, he's keeping back the colorless creature, knowing about the potential feat of resistance. That was a glacial stalker, so it is lethal. So he needs to do. Play that wins.
I think to me it looks like Marcio is preparing the. I think he's preparing the blowout dragon scale boon here. Well, what do you do here if you're Nicholas?
I think you're happy about the Valor stance you just drew. That can answer any of the big creatures on Carvalho's
Is this
side.
winning the game for him?
I think that he might believe that
He's targeting the morph.
Yeah, he's savage punching the Bear's Companion, right?
Yeah, but what's going to happen now is Dragon Scale Boon. What's Dragon Scale Boon doing? Okay, nothing. And that's the Valorous stance. That might be enough. Attack with everything. What does Marcio have? He doesn't have Winds of Sisma.
No, he just has that Dragon Scale
Boon. And it's not enough.
This is it targets.
He ran into the fog, and he thought he had it. He had 2 blockers and Dragon Scale Boon. Nicholas Boon top decks Valorous stance for the win.
And you're happy about that.
I'm completely unbiased, but
we've already blown the cover here. Nicholas Leman is your dog in the race, so to speak.
My Padawan.
And he's looking good here in the finals.
Yeah, super tight games, well played by both of these players. Marcio Carvalho had the read on the wins, but went for it anyway. Super difficult decisions by both players. They were preparing for a super long game, counted the libraries, and then it was, I have the Dragon Scale Boon, I have the Barrage of Boulders, I'll draw the fog to get going, and then Nicholas Laban actually needed the Valorous stance as well.
Yeah, I think you can't really fault Carvalho for going for the win there with the with Barrage of Boulders and then trying to Dragon Scale Boon ambush the
okay, we have the top 8 bracket here. Lucas Blohon secures his Pro Tour status by winning the quarterfinals, but loses to Martin Dang in the semis, who defeated Daniel Opplinger. On the other side of the bracket, Marcio Carvalho advanced to the semifinals, beating Andreas Johnson, but he just fell to Nicholas Laban, who has quite the way ahead of him. He defeated Timothy Simonov first, then Marcio Carvalho in the semifinals, and now it's only Martin Dang left standing in the finals. So Martin Dang against Nicholas Laban, and that's going to be our finals here at GP Liverpool 2000.